Obviously, you can probably give us a good backdrop on the evolution of crypto trading too, just given where things are happening, what players were in the space even 5 years ago, and what's happened now. So that's definitely love to hear you guys' thoughts even more on that.
Yeah, and so that evolution in terms of the scaling of that industry, we started when we jumped into it in 2018. What we did was we built a bank and an exchange, and the connectivity between those bank and the exchange, and it separated custody and execution. And that actually was a really good concept that, had it taken off with that customer of ours that we built, it would have been good for the industry. Um, that one didn't end up working out for them. And so, we kept sort of the IP of building that project and scaling it out. And then, the consolidation around exchanges is very much a sort of a retail first approach, which is not different from the FX markets in terms of structure. One of the main things that we have that we focus on and that we think about is, what does the market structure look like? Is it different from traditional finance? And the underlying technology is certainly, and there's benefits and things that have moved forward. But if you're running a trading operation, you have the same problems, whether it's in the old world or the new world on that front. And so we focused a lot on trying to solve those issues. And in terms of exchanges and the like, post FTX, even as recently as Bybit, the conversation of separating custody from execution and single stack is something that, with regulatory changes, is making a big difference here.
Skylar, I'd say in 2018, when we were working on that project that Chris was talking about, we said, let's really start to understand this digital asset, this crypto world. So we started picking up the phone and talking to friends and family that were starting to dabble in this industry. And they'd say, oh yeah, there's this crypto hedge fund in Midtown. You should go check out guys. So we would go hop on a train, go to some dude's apartment, and it would be three guys in hoodies trading a couple $1 million of capital, mostly on phones, on their, on apps. And and this blew our minds in that, how can this be credible? How can this be something that's, again, going to attract the pension funds, attract the institutional flow? So the world has certainly advanced. You had a lot of the first movers and the big market makers, the Wintermutes, the DRWs, the Jane Streets, the Galaxies. There's this interesting evolution too that we're seeing, and Chris really likes to highlight internally. A lot of these shops are, whether they admit it or not, they're at a point of crisis in their ability to scale. And that's another point of opportunity for us, in that we can help them scale. It's getting their back office under control and completely retooled with the right tools to be more efficient. But that's what we're seeing, that a lot of those first movers, the world was consolidated, and the majority of the volumes came from roughly a dozen names. And they're all names we're very familiar with. A couple of them have certainly blown up. But now we've got all the second movers and the third wave coming in, and that's really in more on the vanilla spot, OTC spot crypto products. We're not even talking about a lot of the derivative and the real funky DeFi flavors of crypto.